Gott, der Mann, da geht er wieder weg. Ist ja fürchterlich.
Hello? You're right. There's nothing coming out.
You're sure? What about the other door inside the house?
Luftdicht?
Ja, luchtdicht.
No, it's completely airtight.
Can you find out when the garage was modified?
We're checking that.
How's Cyril? Cyril Golding?
He's very poorly. He gave us a couple of frights in the night. He can hardly breathe. You get nothing out of him.
He was that poorly?
I've been checking on Hinks for a criminal record, and nothing. Then I contacted the regional force at Tunbridge Wells. Again, nothing criminal, but his name came up attached to this case as a witness.
Again?
Yeah, but he was only 11 when it happened.
I could see him under the ice, but I couldn't break it. He was looking at me, and I couldn't get to him. He just went back under, and I never saw him again. Ronald Hinks, December 1954.
Is there any more of this?
The newspaper closed down in 55.
Find the parents of the dead lad. Track down the reporter and try and get hold of a copy of the coroner's report. What?
I haven't been up all night. I could do some sleep.
Fine. Get Rivers to drive. Keep in the car.
You all right? Fine.
Milk. There's a word.
Toast.
And I'll have a coffee. Please.
I couldn't breathe. There's nowhere to go.
Is it dark or light?
It's dark.
Can you see me then?
I'm seeing it through the clouds. I don't like the people you're working with.
That's because you don't know them. Do you want to?
No. He's watching them. Your friends. He can see them.
That's impossible, Cyril. We've searched his house. We're watching every bloody movie mess.
He can see them! He's watching them.
You got him?
Hello, yes?
Yeah, Inspector Dry, are you in the garage?
Yes.
Could anyone see in the garage from outside?
There's no view in from the outside.
The door to the house, there's no window in it?
No, there's no window.
Has there ever been a window there?
Das ist auch... Nein. Nein, um Himmels Willen. Was tun Sie hier denn? Na, um Himmels Willen.
Lassen Sie doch. Yes, there is a window.
Surveillance is showing that the only journeys he makes are to work 0900 and from work 1730. The only stops he's made at Sainsbury's, where he buys his food by the day, and a local newsagent's where he buys his paper. He never buys a paper in the morning, always at night. Now, we've got the city engineers going through any archive plans to find any bolt holes close to Hinks's house.
We've interviewed the mother of an old friend of Hinks, Peter Weller. They went to school together, best of mates. Weller fell through the ice of a boating lake, December 1954. Hinks was there when it happened. Mrs. Weller was far from happy talking about Hinks. She still blames him for her son's death.
If Ronald Hinks had to watch his friend die at the age of 11, it's feasible that he or anyone could displace that experience into a need to be with children, wanting back the kind of friendship he lost.
And then he kills them.
Possibly.
Am I the only one with reservations about this suspect?
No.
Kind of reservations.
I worry that we're putting everything we've got into one suspect.
25 ex-offenders with form for child-related crimes were interviewed by South Harts police, cross-examined by us and discounted. We're sticking with Hinks because he's the only one moving us on.
How? All we've proved is that Hinks doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't do anything. All we know from surveillance is that he isn't making contact with the victims. I don't understand how we can treat him as the only suspect without a single scrap of evidence, Cregan.
Yeah, I share that feeling. Anybody else?
Whoa. We only got onto Hinks because his Volvo was parked near the scene of the crime. We only got onto the victims in Stuttgart once we started checking Hinks. Nobody invented that connection.
Look, we're under the microscope here, and I'm sensing that people are losing their footing slightly. I think we need to go back over the original list of suspects and absolutely convince ourselves that we're not misfiring.
Sir, I think that's just wasting time we haven't got.
Half an hour ago, I was made aware that the parents of Eddie Franklin have gone to the press about our performance. I've been called to a meeting at the Home Office this afternoon.
I thought there was a news blackout on this.
It's not news, it's no news, which, as you well know, the press seem to prefer.
Oh, shit. I'm on this with D.I. Cregan. This is a waste of time.
Yeah, well, the faster we waste it, the faster we can get on. OK?
That's tough. Who's that tough for?
The parents of the three abducted children, Jerry Casper, Stephen Lord and Eddie Franklin, have criticised the way the police are handling the case. The OSC, Organised and Serial Crimes Unit, who were called in to supervise the case, are accused of being too secretive by one mother.
We've been told nothing. My son's been kidnapped. And he's out there with someone who shouldn't have him. I don't know what they're doing about it.
The man in charge of the OSC, Commander Stephen Enright, made the following statement.
Any clues, any information, no matter how unimportant they think it may be, could be crucial in the resolution of this case.
Come on.
Events, people, places, vehicles, anything that may have happened to those boys prior to their disappearance. Please contact us.
offended since you started treatment?
No, I haven't.
Have you been suspected of any offence since you started treatment?
No. Well, yes, once.
Mrs. Waller?
Yes?
D.I. Cregan. Yeah, I know one of my officers has tried making contact.
He has, and it's not for discussion.
Look, I think Ronald Hinks is responsible for the abduction of 3 children. What do you think, Mrs. Waller?
I think it was the filthy hair, I remember. Dirty clothes, you know. Hello again. I racked my brains following the television broadcast, and, well, it worked. I've remembered something else.
Do you want to follow me?
Right.
You don't think it was an accident, do you?
No. It was an accident. It was the latest freeze-over we had ever had. It was meant to be nearly spring. The lake glazed over, but it wasn't really thick enough to carry a bird.
So how can you blame Hinks?
He didn't call for help.
And that doesn't count as shock?
He told the police he screamed for help. He just watched. He told them he came knocking at our door, which backed onto the lake, and couldn't get a reply. I was in the kitchen with the door open when he said he was hammering on it. Even his own mother didn't believe him when he started crying. His father begged me to let him come to the funeral, but there was no way on God's earth I wanted him there.
We need to speak to somebody in charge of the kidnapping case. Now.
Which park?
Greenwich Park.
When?
Wednesday, December 4th.
When?
9 o'clock. Which is, as you've already got on file, when I told you I was there. Now, this man, this scruffy man...
The same man you saw the day Jerry Casper was kidnapped?
That's right.
You just happened to be there when 2 kids were abducted in separate circumstances.
I'm saying I thought the same man was also in both locations. What I'm further suggesting is because he was carrying 2 large shopping bags brimming with food, he must live close by there, mustn't he?
So we put 50 officers on a ground search of the area, and we might eventually come up with something vaguely resembling the description you gave us.
I'm sorry, I thought I was being helpful.
I'll bet you did.
Sir, we've got something. This is Richard Price and Gavin Broby, engineers with a TV crew. They were testing a satellite link near Hinks's house when they picked this up.
Is it them?
That is definitely Jerry Casper. And that's what Stephen Lord was wearing when he went missing.
That's the bit I recognise from the news.
D.I. Taylor's got our man in interview 1. He's volunteering new information on the man he thinks was responsible.
Where's Hinks?
Took him out the back and beat him up.
You what?
Sent him home.
D.I. Cregan Surveillance Unit 1. Get Hinks now.
I've just relayed. He's with 2.
What's happened?
In his face now. Get him. We found the kids.
Alive?
From now.
Where?
We're stuck on the wrong side of level crossing of Spring Road. You'll have to take him. We're on the way back to base. I thought you were taking it.
Unit 3, name yourself.
Sergeant Slater 2142.
I'm gonna pull your bollocks off when I see you. Rivers, where are you?
Back road towards Hinks's house.
Unit 2. Get onto Jubilee Road. Make sure Hinks can't double back.
What have I done? I don't know what I'm supposed to have done.
You're a lying bastard.
This is where you were yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, this is roughly where we were, yeah. But, I mean, there's no way of telling where we picked the signal up.
You didn't see it at the time?
No, only when we were spooling through tapes back at the office. I remember a flicker of interference, but that's all it was. Hang on, I've got something. There it is.
They're not moving. They're not moving.
Where are they, you evil bastard?
Please, Ronald. Please.
Okay, let's move it!
Okay, we've got some numbers from the council, 202, 212, 437 and 702, and they're still checking.
Ask if there's any occupied flats with absent tenants.
I have. 702 is the only one.
Stephen! Jerry! Hey, Jerry! Hey!
Right, we drag in another 100 officers. We go house to house again. I want every flat searched!
Now, it's going to take days to get that many warrants.
You don't get warrants. You knock on the door, as soon as they open it, you're in.
No, we're not. We ask. Tell them as little as possible, right?
Yes.
Move! I'll talk to Hinks. Can't have much left to hang on to now.
We know you know where they are.
Are they alive?
If you give them up, and you help us get to them, it works in your favor on your sentence. And you know perfectly well you'll get unconditional life. But where you serve it can be a matter for discretion.
His lawyer's here.
I hope you rot.
Can I do the interview?
You don't touch him.
I won't touch him.
If you're going to scare him, you make sure your ass is on that chair. Promise me, Cregan.
Time is 5:01. This is D.I. Dave Cregan, accompanied by D.I. Susan Taylor. We're interviewing Professor Ronald Hinks, and he's accompanied by his brief Peter Lister. Ronald. Did you abduct Jerry Casper, Stephen Lord, and Eddie Franklin on the 26th, 30th of November, and the 4th of December?
No.
You've no knowledge of their whereabouts?
No.
And you'd nothing to do with the murders of Mark Volper and Christian Mann in February 1994?
I did not.
Thanks. You can go. Interview terminated 5:02.
What's going on?
What the bloody hell's going on? Is this some kind of joke?
Cregan!
If you could have proved anything, you wouldn't be here. If you'd been clever, I'd never been here at all. You can't threaten me, Cregan. No.
What makes you so special?
You've done enough damage.
I'm just laughing at something one of our psychologists said.
You're trespassing. If you don't get out of my house now, I'm within my rights to set the dog on you.
Henry!
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, we'll keep shrinks on the payroll to speculate on the abstract mind, Professor. Imagine having a job like that.
I want to make a phone call.
Fine. You're getting ready for work thinking I've 3 abstract minds to get sorted today. And if I do it by 5, I can get a Sainsbury's. It's a scream, innit? It's like your job. Biogenetic engineering. That's all Thunderbirds to me. Go on. Talk me through it. You fed the dog, you're having a shave, it's a precision lifestyle. But what are you thinking? I need to get in early, I've got an ear to grow on the back of that rat.
Or don't forget to reduce human life to a single molecule at least once today. What shape's the rest of the world in when you can pull all that off, Ronald? Are you up there somewhere? Where the special people live?
The law says you've no right to be here. You're breaking the rules.
Nobody knows I'm here, Ron. They all think I've gone home sulking because we lost you. And you couldn't prove I was here, even if you did your best.
What do you spend your money on? Your salary goes into your account and you take out 500 quid a week in cash. What are you buying these days, Ron?
Books.
Of course, he's an academic. Books. You got a Visa card, Access card, and you've got a Diners card. But you buy your books with cash. You spend as much on books as I do on child maintenance. Did I tell you I had kids?
I'm not interested in your...
2! Girls. For 500 quid a week, I keep 2 houses going. Where's your second house?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you've no garage here. And there's no kids here. They're somewhere, Ronald.
Look, you're in enough trouble. Please let me go. This is abduction!
This is what being held against your will actually feels like. And you'll be happy to know I'm not a violent man. You are going nowhere. I want Eddie Franklin, Jerry Casper, and Stephen Lord. Now. No eyes. And there's no witnesses. Talk to me.
Hi, I'm D.I. Taylor. Can I speak to Dave?
He's not here.
Did he say what time we'll be back?
Well, he didn't know. He doesn't live here, you know. Can I see your warrant card? We're divorced. He's in a flat down Stamford Road.
I'm sorry, I should have checked.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry to have bothered you.
If he calls, I'll tell him you're looking for him.
You're getting ready for work. You're having a shave. What are you thinking? If this person dies or that person suffers, it's down to me. Or the world looks awful and you've done nothing to protect it. When your job is, by definition, protection. Is that on your conscience?
I've learned to avoid that trap.
Then you're kidding yourself. The hallmarks of your job and mine are virtually identical. We learn by failure. We're both at the mercy of evidence.
Mark Vulpen, Christian man, died because you failed?
Well, you were 11 when your best mate died.
When you watched him die.
You could have helped him, couldn't you? You were less than 2 minutes' walk from the nearest house. But you didn't walk. You didn't run. Nobody heard you screaming. I bet you can't even remember why you killed your best friend. Just that you could. So you did.
And you got away with it. And that was your first taste of a totally unique power that nobody but people like you really want. Do they live? Do they die?
If these people died, surely they died because you failed. Your people.
Oh, because nobody stopped you? Oh, come on, Ron, you're a big lad. If you didn't know that was wrong, how come I'm here having to play games?
Your game.
In your position, I'd be very angry if I was involved in a game I didn't know the rules of.
Listen to me, you freak! I don't want to hear why people think you did it. They'll call you all sorts in court. Socio this, emotionally psycho that. But you're not, Ronald!
You're as sane now as the day you were born. You were born a sick, twisted bastard.
Some people are. And that's all there is to it.
Where's the pride in winning a game you wrote the rules for?
Your biggest achievement in 50 years is overpowering children.
How in God's name could a normal person be proud of that?
I'm not in charge of the game.
Or voices? You gonna go for voices in court?
Screw yourself, Hinks. You've not a chance.
The only voices you'll be hearing are the parents wanting you dead.
You sick, twisted bastard.
I don't think you're in a position to judge anyone objectively. 10 minutes ago, you were telling me you weren't a violent man.
Come on, Henry, you show me.
Flying saucer flew round the world one day. He looked left and right, he didn't like the sight, so one man flew away. Two little men in a flying
saucer flew round the world one day.
Is that all you remember, Eddie? Didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
Just a sharp pain, like an injection in my leg.
You said he pulled your hair.
Not then, I wasn't really awake. My hair was being pulled. Not really pulled. Like, you know, if you put sellotape on and rip it off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I bet that felt really weird.
Yeah.
Could you see who was doing that, Eddie? If I showed you some pictures, do you think you might recognise one of them? If you really concentrate.
No. He looked left and right, but he didn't like the sight. So one man flew away.
He is guilty! The only way we knew about Mark Volper and Christian Mann was because of the calling cards, the shoes. The only way we found victims was because of Ronald Hinks's work records, and the only reason we knew about him was because his car was in... Very distinctive. Bloody car! Was it Granny Ford and his brother was abducted?
Circumstantial.
His dog. His own bloody dog led us to the last 3 victims, sir.
Look, Hinks has more grounds for harassment than we have for conviction.
The dog knew exactly where it was going. It was following its owner's scent.
With the greatest respect, we can't put a dog in the witness box. And if we could, it's circumstantial.
Hey, you know the bloody washers. Do you know that?
Cricket.
You couldn't make shit stick to a blanket, you tosser!
Cricket, that's not how we do things. Just sit down. Sit down! Continue.
You looked left and right, and quite like the sight. Thought you might stay. I'm sorry it's so late. I didn't know where else to go.
I'm glad you came here.
Tilbury.
If it wasn't past closing, I'll be out buying you champagne, Dave. Cheers.
Can I stay?
Sure. I'll make sofa up.
Well done. You're a hero. Again.
You're not suggesting that Kessler will sustain defence for a freak like Hinks? He's a geneticist. I know they're not ten a penny, but he can't be that gifted.
Kessler's worth billions. If Hinks goes down, their name goes with it. They'll spend what they need to represent his innocence.
If they win, their loyalty pays off. If they lose, they're sunk. They will not lose. You've given us nothing to fight with.
They've applied for the release of his passport. He's just going to be back to square one as far as Hinks is concerned.
He will do it again.
The parents of 3 abducted children are calling their rescue a miracle, and they're praising the policeman who saved them. They say Detective Inspector David Cregan from the Organised and Serial Crimes Unit should receive a commendation.
We'd all just like to say thank you for bringing our kids back safe and sound.
The police seem to be no closer to charging anyone with the offence.
Dave, you all right?
Dave?
Hi, sorry I'm not in, but if you leave your name, number, and time you called, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Cregan, just ring me. You selfish bastard.
Bye.